Admiral's log, August 15th, 1924. Times are tough. Our Europa-class battleships, once the pride of our Navy, are getting old and can't keep up anymore. Their guns just aren't as good as they used to be. Now, we're in a tight spot because the French are bringing in newer, meaner ships, and that's got me worried. But it's not all bad news. Over in Asia, we're winning. We've taken over Tonkin and Kwangchowan, and that's great for us. These wins are helping our country's wallet and lifting everyone's spirits. It shows that our sailors are still fighting hard and smart, even if our ships are getting old. These wins in Asia are really important. They're not just good for morale, they're giving us the money we need to build better ships. We've got to think about the future, about new kinds of ships that can take us back to the top. Right now, it's a mix of good and bad. Our old battleships are struggling, but our successes in Asia are giving us a chance to bounce back. We need to use these wins to fix our weaknesses. As the guy in charge, I've got my work cut out for me. We'll celebrate the good stuff, learn from the hard times, and keep pushing on. The Soviet Navy's been through a lot, and we'll get through this too, coming out stronger.
Hey guys, Stealth here, welcome to episode 27. I am happy to report that we have a bit more territory now. Tonkin has been taken, as well as Kwangchowan. That is a very, very nice bonus to our economy. There are more ways to build your economy. Back in the day, I think I had about 60 billion GDP. Now I'm at 98 billion. So yeah, we're going places. In fact, we're going more places. Cochin China, $4.2 billion in income. Yes, please. A whole army force of 443 men. Defending all of this territory. What could possibly go wrong? Now, I have my invasion fleet here. 2 battleships, 2 battlecruisers, a bunch of heavy cruisers and destroyers to clear out any minefields and or potential submarines. So these guys are going to invade Cochin China. The area of Annam is a little busy invading Laos. Ideally, I wouldn't let them have it. It's not really something I can majorly influence. So I'm just going to let these guys invade and then potentially in the meanwhile take Cambodia off of them. And hey, if the French have more territories that they'd like to get rid of, by all means. As for the situation over in northern France, Germany has successfully walked into northern France again. And they're now continuing their walk going to southern France. By the looks of it, they might not have enough men, as France is very heavily defending their southern perimeter. However, their own army is on the move. Poorly, I might add. They have made absolutely no progress invading northwest Italy. But this does potentially cause issues later with Germany. Because while France's economy is shrinking, they were at 550 billion at some point, I think. They had 30 battleships, now they have 5. They've been getting clobbered all over the place. While their economy is shrinking, Germany is growing. Now, I'm not at war with them, nor am I at risk to be at war with them. But this is a very, very sizable economy. Look at that naval budget. 55 billion a year. Let's contrast that to 4 billion. So they have a little bit more money than I do. It's not something I'm going to quickly fix, however. If it does come to an invasion over land, I think they'll still kick my ass. My army logistics is 50%. Theirs, having a very united front, is 100%. And, well, you know, once Germany starts going, everybody in Europe better brace themselves. As for my navy, unfortunately, I have a battlecruiser that was killed. The namesake of the class, the Chesma. This is very unfortunate, but it highlights the fact that I need a new battlecruiser. Because these battlecruisers are simply not going to cut it anymore. The older Cubans, with their more impressive 13-inch guns, I mean, they got 8 of them, these guys have 4, they just get outshot by the French battleships with their 15-inch guns. So we're going to have to do a little bit of designing. Thankfully, I now have access to the Dreadnought, no, sorry, not the Dreadnought, the Battlecruiser 3 hull. And with that, I intend to make a better battlecruiser. I still find battlecruisers to be let's say, the perfect middle ground between the battleship and the cruisers, the heavy cruisers. You just get a lot more firepower relative to a heavy cruiser, and your ship is generally a bit cheaper to run than a dreadnought / battleship. So in that sense, yeah, it's going to be an interesting ship to run, because it offers the best of both worlds. However, once these things come up against battleships, sometimes they get a little killed. That is unfortunate, and that's something I'd like to prevent, but, you know, you don't always get your way, especially once the French get involved with their 15-inch guns. Now, let's add this ship some speed. It's a really weird hull. Why do you have casemates in there? It's 1924. Get with the times. 226 million. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not spending that much on a ship, but there's the maintenance factor again. No, the maintenance is more expensive here. Really? Semi-oil makes it 4.8. 4.2. So yeah, gear turbines still cheaper. Alright, make these things survivable. Make sure that they can handle a torpedo. Give them an auxiliary engine so they can repair themselves faster, and they're probably going to be at speed most of the time. Give them a citadel, give them the ability to pump out water, and give them some form of a control tower. Are you kidding me? That is the position that you want the main tower to go. Oh boy. This is going to be a very odd ship to run. Because how do you fit guns on that? I guess we're going battle barge with this one. Jeez, these rear towers are awful. Really, really awful. Okay. Engine efficiency could do a little better. Make it induced. There we go. Okay. Battle barge time. Now, when I say battle barge, I mean all the guns are going to sit in the middle of the ship. This is going to make it, well, a very weird design. And you generally won't have the capability of chasing targets. Like, this is a battle barge. It looks like shit. Actually, I might be able to pull the secondary tower in and put another tower, another turret over there. It looks like shit. But considering what I have to work with, I think this might be somewhat of an okay setup. Hold on, what if I put the secondary tower here? You cannot do that? Wow, that's a waste of space. Okay, but then again, that can be said for many people. Let's pretend I didn't say that. Okay, how am I going to set this thing up? How do I have a 26% forward offset? Oh, the whole engine's in the bow. Got it. Let's make the citadel bigger. Let's add more guns. How do you effectively set this thing up? This can spin freely. Yep. That's going to make them far more efficient to use. Let's first pump up these stats. And give them a hydro, give them picric acid and 2 powder. And that should keep them fairly stable. 17% flash fire. That's not very stable. 10% flash fire. 4% flash fire. Now we're getting somewhere. Now, when it comes to these shells, let's contrast them against something that is a bit more modern. Let's say maybe 130% armor quality. This way it's going to be... Really? There. It's going to be a little easier to figure out what sort of guns and especially what sort of firepower I need on these things. For once, I'm not going to increase the barrel length, because I found that that does not do very well when it comes to deck pens. You get a lot more shell velocity. The shell velocity translates into shells coming in at a very shallow angle, and they might just ricochet off the deck. Whereas if you have a slower shell, it might come in more like that, plunge right through the deck, and do a whole lot of damage. That is the plan. So we're going to be using these things with, thinking semi-ballistics, because you'll always do some bunch of damage, and especially against cruisers, they will suffer my wrath, leading to some substantial loss of life, ideally on their side. Now, let's put this like over here. This thing can free spin. That's excellent. Yep, we're good. And yes, I know there are these lines around the turret that says whether or not it's free spinning, but I'm colorblind, so I find that pretty hard to see. How do I still have so much front weight offset? These things are not light. This is 1900 tons per turret. Then I throw in a barbette that weighs almost nothing. That's a little weird. Casemates. 5s. They're just there to deal with smaller targets. Oh, we also got a... yeah, that's good. Wow, that does almost nothing for our displacement. Okay. Set them to 27 knots. Oh, that saves nothing. 28? Yeah. Pitch is awful. Pitch just got worse. How do you make this thing work? Like, do you just put... oh, sure. You could put the tower there, but you cannot put the turret there? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to those. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna put that gun over there. But 37%. We're gonna have to throw on a lot of main belt armor, deck armor, maybe like 6. The ship's gonna go overweight, but that's fine. 4 belt. I don't know. What the hell? Hold on. What if I add... what if I were to put a funnel over there? There we go. Because now you're shifting the engine back. So I'm going to take the funnel. I'm going to put that there. This means that my weight offset is now towards the aft. If I force this tower to go back a bit, I might be able to do something... no, don't rotate the barbette. Yeah, you're fine. This thing acts like it has a full clearing arc towards the bow. Like, you're gonna shoot off the main tower before you do anything like that, dude. I don't think that's gonna work out very well for the ship. Okay, put the secondary tower here. Ideally, I'd put another gun here, but I think I can't. Yeah, now we're suffering from an aft weight offset. Put the funnel there. Oh, that's a little better. Nope. Stay here. Barbette up there. Gun up there. This thing can free spin. Yes, excellent. We can pull this back in. We can put this here. However, I only have 12 guns now, not 15. So, firepower-wise, we kind of sacrificed a bit, which is something I don't really like. But I guess we're going to have to get used to it. Secondary guns. We got 8-inch Mark III. I can add one over there, I suppose. But that barely turns. Nah. I think I might be doing better if I add a bit more armor to the ship. Pitch is still really bad. And beyond adding weight to the deck, I'm not really sure what to do about it. It's a really weird hull to make work. It's a bit of an uncomfortable hull. I don't like it that much. Give me 2 inches of superstructure. 12 inches conning tower. This thing almost has no 4 belt, so that doesn't matter. Reduce the main belt a little. No, we're sacrificing pitch again. What if I switch to the other engine type? Turbo's too heavy. Okay. Standard turbines are way too heavy. And it also makes the ship 568 million. That's a little expensive. Set the range to medium. Now I got 1,000 tons to play around with. This means a bit more deck armor, aft deck armor. And I think we're pretty good like that. I could improve the diameter of the guns, like so. That, of course, makes them a lot heavier. It also forces my reload up to 78 seconds, which is a bit higher than I would like. Yeah, 69, about 70 seconds. What's my range do? I'm now looking at about 20 kilometers with AP at best range. And now we're looking at 27 actually. Sorry, 27. But can you hit something at 27? Doubtful. Very doubtful. Okay, we're going to stick to this. As for other specs of the ship, standard ratio. And go triple hull. That's a bit too heavy. Can we go like 29 knots? Our engine efficiency is already crashing. Yeah, we can do 29-ish. 30? No, 30 is a bit much. 29.5. Meet you halfway. There we go. Engine efficiency is not as good as I would like it, but I'm hoping to get better oil eventually, allowing the ship to reach a higher top speed. These semi-ballistic shells are going to crash through most of the targets, and ideally, this turret is going to be able to fire in most directions. This one is going to be able to free spin and fire in most directions. Yeah, we should be able to make this thing work. It's a fairly curious design, and I'm not really that proud of it, but okay. So this is the Kaluga. Since I don't really have another name, that needs to get inherited, I think. We're going to save that design. How long are these things going to take to build? 22 months. Bloody hell, I'm not even sure they'll see service against the French. As for the other... Oh, crap. As for the other ships, I am building a whole bunch of export ships now. I got 3 heavy cruisers that are taking 20 months, but that's mostly because it's going to take a lot of time for some other ships to complete. Thanks to the delays that I'm causing, they're 22 months. 14 months is going to take to finish up those cruisers. That's about 45,000 tons. I thought we're building more. We're building DDs. What are my shipyards that busy with? Oh, right. Repairing ships, refitting the Europa, repairing the Apostel Piotr. Alright. Now, I wonder if it's possible to make the Chesmas a bit more survivable. Because these things get blown up very easily. I've seen them more than once take one hit and take about 5,000 points of damage. It is not an entertaining situation to be in, because you take so much damage from the enemy, and, well, they're just really big ships. 28,000 tons. I do have some tonnage available. I might give them 14-inch guns, but the problem with this particular build, like the whole hull, is that you'll find you're unable to really fit more guns onto them. Not the mains, anyway. Let's say I want to refit these with 14-inch. I'm going to go dual barrel. As far to the bow as possible. As far to the stern as possible. And... does that fit? Yeah, it does fit. I know the whole ship's overweight. Don't worry about that. I will fix that later. Really? We're going to have to use a smaller barbette for that. No way in hell. That would have been quite something. Medium? And you go up there? Yeah. So now we got some really big guns on this ship. They look out of place. They pack a lot of punch, but they're still not up to par with the 15-inchers. Also, I am 2,700 tons overweight. I can fix that by going semi-oil. It saves me a bit of weight. I can improve the armor scheme to Crip 3. I got maximum range? It's a curious decision I made there. As for propellant, we're looking at a flash fire chance of 26%. That is risky. TNT 2, 9.5. There we go. That's better. That's fine. That's fine. Reinforced bulkheads 2, please. That's 400 tons. Single hull bottom. 6 months to refit these things. Yeah, there's the problem. Foredeck 1 inch, aft deck 1 inch. These things were never really designed to do long-range sniping. And therein lies the problem. Because I'm asking them to do long-range sniping, which is a job that they can't very much do, because they cannot take a hit. And I really, at the moment, don't see a whole lot of options to fix that. Like, I can turn the main belt to 9 inches, and maybe make the foredeck and the aft deck 2 inches. But that's about it. 7 months to refit this thing as well. Yikes. I can't very much afford to have these ships out of commission for 7 months. But okay, if that's what it takes. Now, it's going to improve the firepower by a heck of a margin. We're going from 13.9s I had on here, all the way up to 14s. And we're doubling our firepower from 4 barrels to 8. While maintaining the 9-inchers. Hopefully, this new Chesma refit is going to do well. But the challenge is going to be to refit all of these things. And at the moment, most of them are employed. They're busy. They have some task. They're either invading a place or they're trying to defend other shipping. They're busy. And trying to get them to a dock and then take them out of commission for 7 months. It's quite long. Let's move on from shipbuilding to something a bit more explosive. How about a battle against a battleship, the Provence, as owned by Egypt? This is one of those ships that I'm talking about. 8 14.5-inch guns. I thought there were 15s, but this 14.5s. These guys, similar class, Souverain and another Souverain. So they got a lot of firepower. I, however, have the Synop with 10 13s. I have the Apostle Piotr with 6 13s, and I have 1 DD. So when it comes to guns, they have me outgunned by a lot. Crew training, seasoned, trained, and regular. I have veterans and regular. So yeah, we're going to have to send this older Europa from 1913, as well as the newer Synop, into battle against overwhelming odds. The enemy has been sighted about 20 kilometers off of our port bow. Synop, turning all of our 13-inch guns over to the port side. Considering the range and my ability to potentially not pen the deck, I'm going to go to HE. Same for the Apostle Piotr, and the DD is going to move out and scout. I mean, not that there's a whole lot to scout at the moment. Actually, no. Belay that. I want you to follow these ships. And I want you to just stay here and potentially smoke up ships as and when I need that. First blood on the French battleship. My rate of fire should be phenomenal with these 13s. Yeah, 48 seconds. Destroy the casemate. Now, I'm not intentionally trying to burn these things down. It's not my game. The deal, however, is I cannot very well pen them. Ow. And they don't seem to have that level of problem. That did a lot of damage. Did a lot of damage. 44% chance to hit with a full salvo. Ow! So yeah, at this rate, I am not going to win this fight. I am out of here. Don't take a fight you might not win. Especially not with a very expensive battleship. 691 million. I'm going to have to do something about the type of ammunition that these ships carry. It's capitalistic. It's capitalistic too. Okay. Okay, they lost sight of the Piotr. They lost sight... Well, we lost sight of everything. Yeah, I got eyes on them again. I think it's the barrel length, isn't it? That barrel length that makes these things so accurate is now working against me. And with 10 guns and 48-second reload, I don't set enough fires to burn them down. I don't cause enough crew casualties to make them surrender. I need to do something else to these ships. I need to refit these ships. And I have already, off-camera, disengaged from a bunch of fights because I did not feel comfortable taking on the fight. I had a couple of Chesmas run into the enemy, and I decided not to take the fight, simply because it was too dangerous. There. More hits on the Piotr. I'm really hoping that I can evacuate these ships, and I should be able to, although the Vlad's smokescreen has now run out. I think the fact that I'm starting to get very far behind, at least according to the game, with my technology is showing. I can't really do much about that right now. The Synops are some of the best ships I have. And they ought to be able to take these fights. But not in a 3-to-1. Well, I mean it's a 3-to-2, but the Piotr is not that well suited to this fight. I think she has a coincidence rangefinder. She's not even very well versed in long range fights. One thing that we might have over them, however, is speed. So not, well, not even by that much. I think the French are only 25 knots, just the same as I am. Okay, smoke up. And run off. They lost sight of the Piotr and the Synop. Run! Turn this way. I feel like I have been doing a lot better with these smokescreen evacuations. I'm just trying to... Boom. Trying to keep my ships safe by laying a defensive smokescreen. And then allowing them to use that smokescreen to either fire without getting counterfire, or just leaving the place. Right now, leaving seems to be my best bet. Battleship successfully evacuated, but it does count as a defeat, because the victory points do go to the French. Arguably, I mean, they should, because I did take a bunch of damage, but didn't really have a whole lot to show for it, unfortunately. How can I quickly counter this? I'm thinking submarines. These guys seem to be operating in the Mediterranean with a couple of battleships that might not have escorts. At least I didn't see any cruisers or destroyers or the such. So just flooding the area with a whole bunch of subs could prove useful. Where my ships are here. This is the Piotr, the 1913, and I think the Synop's over there. Look at that. Synop just got back, and she's right back with 33% damage. Lovely. Where are those French warships? There's one CL there. They got one battleship in Tunis. A couple of random shit there. Okay. I do have some submarines, but these are, I think, coastals. This is another coastal. Every port has a single mine-laying submarine. So that's what you're seeing over there. Yeah, we're going to have to pump out a bunch of submarines. Okay. Build. I only have... Oh, sir, there it is. The ocean-going sub. 2 batch torpedo launchers with an attack power of 2.4, attack power of 2.4 as well. Stealth 5.08, stealth at 44. Top speed 14 knots, top speed 13 knots. Price tag 6 million as opposed to 2 million. Displacement, bit more. But you get a lot more firepower out of this thing. So how many do you want? The answer is always yes. We're going to flood this place. Where are we going to deploy them? Well, Tripoli, of course. Tripoli is going to be the place these boats will call home. Unfortunately, I cannot actually build them in Tripoli, so I'm going to have to deploy them... yeah. I guess Sevastopol. They're all going to spawn here, and then we'll just flood the place over here, the Central Med, maybe the Western Med, because the French still have a lot of firepower there, and I'm not eager to find it. Now that's going to be it for the episode. I've done quite a lot with this campaign so far, but we're far from done. There is a lot left to be done. Not in the first place, or not in the last place. I mean, taking over a whole bunch of territory from the French. They won't like it, but that is not my problem. We're at war, and these things happen. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for more.